Oh, hi. So I have been doing great actually. Few things happened recently that affected my life. So one of them is this book. It's Directing Actors, and it was recommended by Jasmine, who is director of Firecrackers. Now I was looking up to her since last year when her film was doing a festival run, and this year she made a workshop for Gimli Film Festival, and I was very excited for it. I actually prepared like a page of questions to ask her, but her presentation was so great. She answered all my questions in her presentation. And one of the things she mentioned, and I hope it's not confidential saying it, but because it's actually in this book, so I hope it's fine. But she was doing rehearsal with actors, and I actually never heard of that. And if I imagine rehearsal, I would imagine it's on a set day, when it's filming happens on a set day, yeah. And you just do rehearsal of the same scenes that's in the script. But what she said, she was actually doing something else. It's just outside of the story and some situations, so that actors later have some emotional memories about interacting with each other. So let's say when it's about two best friends and they meet on set, it's not like they're working together for the first time, and they actually already built some relationship before. And honestly, realizing this helped me also with the story itself. So let's say Transparent Demon is 6 pages right now, and sometimes you get doubts, well, is this story good enough, or like is it lacking some, like like you are not sure about it sometimes. But after realizing that you can actually build the actors and some scenes and situations that won't end up in the film, but that's okay, we still need it. And it actually opened up a lot for me, and I am more comfortable with this story now, and I just can expand it more and more. So another thing that made me this book realize is that I want to work with actors. So it's a bit tricky right now. You can learn everything about filmmaking, cinematography, coloring, editing, sound design, like everything, right? It's accessible and it's out there. And I think it's very tricky part of it that it's so accessible. And also, like with the budget films, you kind of take too much technical stuff on yourself. But this book kind of made me realize that what I want to do in my films and on my set, and this is to be focused on actors and performing. This is what I want to do. And actually before that, I was a bit intimidated about working with actors, and for Transparent Demon, I was planning to hire trained actors so that they could repeat lines over and over again in different shots, so it would be easier in editing room, in post-production. But right now I realized after reading this book that it's so much more to that, and director is responsible on so much more, because I was just thinking it's all actors. You just give them a general idea what you need from them, and then it's up to them. It's up to their talent, it's up to their training and stuff like that. And after this book, I realized it's actually director's main job to direct the actors, and I love it. And this is my favorite part. And on my next set, I don't want to deal with technical stuff. So what I'm gonna do, I will delegate and I will trust other people to do the technical stuff. I won't look in the camera at all, and I will be just with actors and work with them. And I'm very excited for that, because before I was a bit intimidated because so far in my short films I only work with my friends, and actually I was always focused more on camera and technical stuff. So I was not really working with actors. It was just one time, and I was able to work with actor because it was just a voice, and it went great and it felt great, and I think it was amazing. And I want to be doing that. So that said, I also realized that I don't need to really focus my free time on the technical stuff, like improving my editing or learn about colors. So I better prefer to work on my stories and just prepare the story part. Because in the end of the day, like, for example, I kind of forced myself to learn editing and stuff like that because it's not really, I don't have passion in that. Like, I have passion in writing, and I want to work with actors. So I think this is a great book. So another thing that affected me, it's a history book that I have been listening to, and it kind of made me realize that I need to work on my stories more. So what I'm doing right now, I just review all my journals that I have been doing in recent years, and there are some story ideas somewhere on the pages of like daily journaling or something, and it's like 10 stories that needs development. And I think that's what I will be focusing on in the near future. So instead of doing some other stuff in my free time. I mean, if I was not working, then maybe yes, I can have time for other stuff, but it kind of made me realize that, hey, just work on your stories, man. Like, don't... And lastly, it's again about the Gimli Film Festival. So I watched this film, it's a stop motion film, it's called Wolf House or House of Wolf. And so it was two directors, and they spent years making this film. Now, I was not gonna watch it because on a previous day I watched a film that kind of affected me, and I was emotionally exhausted, so I was thinking not to watch it, but my friend recommended it, and I'm so glad that I watched it. And later, the same friend was asking great questions to these directors. It was Q&A. And so she asked, when you were working on the film, like, did you have the script ready and then start filming, or was it like changing in process and developing in process? And their answer was, well, the story lives on its own. It's like a separate entity, and you can't really control it completely. You just follow the flow and kind of trust it where it will go itself. And I kind of needed to hear this because I hadn't realized that before. And then I remembered a long time ago I heard the same about Leo Tolstoy, who was, by the way, vegan, or at least vegetarian. And so I don't want to give spoilers, but he cried when one of his characters died. And so he was asked, well, why did you kill her? And he said, I didn't kill her, she killed herself. It was not me. And back then when I heard, it was like 20 years ago, I was like, I didn't really get it. But now I kind of understand it, and I like this attitude. I like this attitude to let your story build itself and don't force it because of like what you think it's right, or what you think public expects from you, or stuff like that. So right now I feel very liberated. I don't know how it really happened. I think there's different factors, also hitting rock bottom in my tiredness and then resurrecting back kind of helped me to release the tension. And it's not like proving myself to anybody and seeking validation from anyone that, hey, oh, she can make films, oh wow, nice, she made, like, it's not about that. It's about giving myself time to work on my stories, and if I feel like I need to get more knowledge first or something, it's just trusting the flow. And just, yeah, it's hard to explain, but so yeah,